Lincoln Rhyme, a quadriplegic forensics expert, is bedridden in 1998 in New York City following an accident that left him paralyzed from the neck down. A disfigured corpse is found buried near a railroad bed from the Civil War by Amelia Donaghy, a recently hired patrol officer. Through a free video/audio stream that Amelia sent to Rhyme in his bedroom, he is guiding her. Rhyme comes to the conclusion that the crime scene was staged based on artifacts that resemble clues found there. Impressed by Amelia's innate forensic instincts, he then partners up with her. Before Rhyme and Amelia met, the murderer, posing as a cab driver, kidnaps Alan and Lindsay Rubin, a married couple. While Lindsay is found to be alive and restrained in a steam junction, Amelia finds Alan's body at the railroad station. Rhyme locates Lindsay by using the hints discovered in the railroad bed, which include a ripped bit of paper. Amelia is killed by an open steam pipe shortly after the investigators and Amelia arrive. Amelia discovers another piece of paper and a fragment of Lindsay's bone next to her. Amelia is told by Rhyme to cut Lindsay's hands in order to get evidence, but she storms out. The murderer kidnaps a student from NYU, takes him to an abandoned slaughterhouse, ties him to a pole, and leaves him with an exposed wound that draws rats to the area. Using the clues left by the murderer at the scene of the last murder, Amelia and Rhyme discover the victim's body has been disfigured by rats. Amelia discovers a fragment of bone and another piece of paper. Rhyme's health and stability start to suffer significantly as a result of the strain of the intense investigation and formal challenges to Amelia and Rhyme's involvement in the case. Rhyme's nurse and caregiver, Thelma, tells Amelia that he intends to end his life because he is afraid of having seizures that could put him in a vegetative condition. Following their deciphering of the message the murderer was delivering through the fragments of paper, Amelia and Rhyme find themselves in The Bone Collector, an old crime fiction that describes the atrocities the killer is reproducing. They find the next victims, a grandfather and granddaughter who were tied to a pier during a rise in the tide, following the fictitious sketch. The grandfather passes away, but the small girl is successfully revived by the paramedics. Amelia discovers a subway map, a fragment of an old police badge, and another bit of bone at the scene. Amelia follows these hints, along with the asbestos the murderer left behind at Lindsay's scene, to an abandoned subway station where numbers on a carriage's side had been altered to spell Rhyme's police badge number. When the assassin gets to Rhyme's house, he murders police captain Howard Cheney and Thelma. Richard Thompson, the medical technician in charge of Rhyme's medical supplies, is identified as the murderer. Marcus Andrews, the real name of Richard, is a former forensics specialist who was found guilty after Rhyme published a piece exposing him for fabricating evidence that led to the false arrest of 6 innocent people, one of whom committed suicide by hanging. Retaining his belief that his assessment is accurate, Marcus holds Rhyme responsible for his detention and the mistreatment he suffered while in prison. He has planned to disgrace Rhyme by putting him to the test in a wits match before taking his life. Rhyme succeeds in crushing Marcus's hand on his hospital bed, which sparks a struggle during which he bites Marcus's neck, seriously injuring him. Unable to move, Amelia arrives and shoots Marcus dead just as Rhyme is ready to be fatally stabbed. The Christmas after, Rhyme, having given up on his suicide plans, receives a visit from his sister and niece, Amelia, and other co-workers.